The rain was heavy outside the hospital that night, smudging the glass windows with streaks of silver light. Inside room 309, Emma lay pale against the white sheets, her hand resting over her swollen belly. She was 8 months pregnant and exhausted from the stress that had become her life these past few months. Her husband, Daniel, hadn't been around much lately. Long business trips, late-night phone calls, and unexplained absences had replaced the warmth that once filled their marriage. Emma felt it deep in her bones. Something was wrong. The clock on the wall ticked softly. She reached for her phone, hesitated, and then placed it back down. She didn't want to fight again. She didn't have the strength. All she wanted was peace for herself and for the baby she carried. Just then, the hospital door creaked open. Emma looked up, expecting to see a nurse or maybe Daniel. Instead, a tall woman in a red coat stepped inside. Her eyes were cold, her lips curved in something between a smirk and a sneer. "Who are you?" Emma asked weakly. The woman didn't answer at first. She took slow steps toward the bed, her heels tapping on the linoleum floor. "So you're Emma," she finally said. "The wife." Emma frowned. "Excuse me." The woman's voice dropped low, venomous. "I'm Vanessa, Daniel's friend." The air left Emma's chest. Her heart hammered. She tried to sit up, clutching her belly for balance. "What do you mean, his friend?" Vanessa's smile widened, cruel and confident. "Don't play dumb. You know exactly what I mean." Tears welled in Emma's eyes. "Get out, you shouldn't be here." But Vanessa didn't move. Instead, she reached into her purse and pulled out a photo, a picture of her and Daniel at some beach, laughing, their arms around each other. "He told me he was leaving you," she said sharply. "Told me you were a mistake he had to fix." Emma's throat tightened. The pain was sharp, like glass cutting through her chest. She wanted to scream, to cry, to deny it, but the photo said everything. "You're lying," she whispered. Vanessa leaned closer, her perfume heavy in the air. "Am I? Because I'm carrying his baby too." The world seemed to tilt. Emma's head spun, her breathing grew uneven. "You're what?" "Oh, don't act so surprised. Daniel didn't tell you, did he?" Vanessa's voice was ice. "He said he'd never wanted this," she sneered, gesturing at Emma's belly. "He wanted me." Emma's trembling hand gripped the bedsheet. She couldn't tell if the pounding in her ears was her heart or her baby kicking in distress. "Get out," she said again, but her voice was weak. Vanessa moved closer, her anger twisting her expression. "You think you can keep him by trapping him with a baby, you pathetic little." Before Emma could react, Vanessa shoved the tray table aside and lunged forward. Her hands pressed against Emma's shoulder, pushing her back. The sudden force made Emma cry out in pain. The heart monitor beeped frantically. "Stop, please," Emma gasped, tears streaming down her face. "I'm pregnant." But Vanessa's rage was blinding. "I should have been the wife," she screamed. "You took everything from me." The noise drew a nurse rushing into the room. "Hey, what's going on here?" she shouted, pulling Vanessa away. Vanessa struggled, her hair falling loose, her eyes wild. "She doesn't deserve him, she doesn't." Security was called, and within minutes, Vanessa was dragged out of the room. Emma sobbed uncontrollably, holding her belly, whispering to the baby, "You're okay, you're okay." A doctor came in, checking her vitals, assuring her the baby was fine, but Emma's world was spinning. Her husband had betrayed her. His mistress had attacked her. And yet, even through her tears, one question burned inside her mind. Why did Vanessa look so familiar? There was something in her face, in her voice, something that pulled at a memory buried deep inside Emma, one she couldn't quite reach. Later that night, when Daniel finally arrived, his face pale and anxious, Emma turned away from him. She didn't speak, didn't cry, she just stared out the window into the storm. He sat beside her, reaching for her hand, but she pulled away. "Who is she, Daniel?" Daniel swallowed hard, his jaw tightening. "Emma, it's not what you think." Her laugh was bitter and broken. "Then tell me what it is." He couldn't meet her eyes. It was a mistake. I ended it months ago. I didn't think she'd come here, I swear. Is she pregnant? He froze. His silence said everything. Emma turned her head slowly, staring at him with disbelief. How could you? Daniel stood, packing the room. I didn't plan for any of this. She's unstable, Emma. I tried to help her. Help her? Emma's voice cracked. You slept with her. He covered his face with his hands. It was one time. I thought we were over. Emma shook her head. Get out. Emma, please. Get out, she screamed, clutching her stomach as tears flooded her face. The nurses came back in, and Daniel reluctantly stepped out, defeated and broken. As the door closed behind him, Emma whispered to herself. She looked just like him. Her words faded into the hum of hospital machines. She didn't know what that meant yet, but soon she would. Because the woman who attacked her, the one claiming to be Daniel's mistress, was not just a stranger. She was someone from Emma's forgotten past. Someone connected by blood. Emma didn't sleep that night. The rain had stopped, but the thunder still rolled far in the distance like an echo of her thoughts. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Vanessa's face, the fury in her eyes, the twisted hurt behind her words, the strange familiarity that haunted Emma's mind. Morning light spilled weakly through the blinds. She sat up slowly, holding her belly as her baby kicked gently. We're okay, she whispered, stroking her stomach. I promise you we'll be okay. A soft knock came on the door. A nurse peeked in, smiling kindly. Good morning, Mrs. Harris. The doctor will check you soon, but there's someone here to see you. Should I let him in? Emma tensed. Who? The nurse hesitated. Your husband. Emma's lips tightened, but after a pause she nodded. Let him in. Daniel entered, eyes tired, shirt rumpled, holding a cup of coffee he hadn't touched. He looked broken, but Emma's heart was a fortress now. Emma, he said softly, how are you feeling? She didn't answer. She stared at the window, her face pale and expressionless. He set the cup on the table and sat on the chair beside her bed. I've spoken to the police. They've detained Vanessa for assault. She won't come near you again. Emma's voice was distant. That's not what hurts the most. Daniel looked down. I know. The silence between them was heavy, filled with all the words they hadn't said, all the trust that had been shattered. Finally, Emma turned to him. Who is she really, Daniel? Don't give me half-truths. I deserve the truth. Daniel exhaled, rubbing his temples. She worked for my company marketing department. We started talking when you and I were having problems. Emma frowned. Problems? You were distant after your mother died, Emma. You wouldn't let me in. I was angry, lonely. Don't you dare blame me for your affair. Her voice trembled with rage. Daniel's shoulders sagged. I'm not. I'm just trying to explain how it happened. I never loved her, I swear. But when she told me she was pregnant, I panicked. Emma's heart sank. You believed her. He nodded. She showed me test results. I offered to help financially, but she wanted more. She wanted me to leave you. When I refused, she lost control. That's when the threats started. Emma swallowed hard. And now she attacked me in a hospital while I'm carrying your child. Daniel's eyes filled with tears. I'm so sorry, Emma. I would give anything to take it back. But she looked away. There were no words left for forgiveness. Later that afternoon, the police came to take Emma's statement. The officer, a woman named Detective Clara Monroe, spoke gently but firmly. Mrs. Harris, can you describe your attacker? Emma recounted everything. The red coat, the photograph, the claim of being pregnant, and how Vanessa said Daniel promised to leave his wife. Clara jotted notes, her brow furrowed. Vanessa Moore, age 27, she murmured. We have her in custody, but there's something odd. She refused to call anyone for bail, said she had no family. Emma's eyes flickered. No family. That's what she said. Clara sighed, closing her notebook. We'll keep you updated. Rest for now. You've been through enough." When the detective left, Emma sat in silence. Something about those words, "no family," stirred something deep inside her. She had been adopted at the age of 6 after being abandoned at an orphanage. Her adoptive parents, the Carsons, had always told her she was special chosen. But Emma had never known who her biological family was. No records, no names, no photographs. And now, a woman who looked eerily like her, same hazel eyes, same soft jawline, had appeared out of nowhere, filled with hatred and pain. Could it be coincidence or something more? 2 days later, Emma was discharged from the hospital. Daniel wanted to drive her home, but she refused. "I'll go with my sister," she said coldly. Her younger adoptive sister, Grace, came to pick her up. Grace was fiery and loyal, the kind of woman who would fight a storm if it threatened Emma. "God, I swear, if I ever see that woman, I'll—" "Don't," Emma interrupted softly. "It's done." Grace frowned. "It's not done. She attacked you. You're 8 months pregnant, for crying out loud." "I know," Emma whispered. "But there's something about her, Grace, something strange. She looks like me." Grace glanced over from the driver's seat. "Like you, how?" Emma hesitated. Her eyes, her face, her voice. "It's like looking at a distorted version of myself." Grace raised an eyebrow. "You think she could be related to you?" "I don't know, but I can't shake the feeling." Grace reached over and squeezed her hand. "Then find out, but first take care of yourself and the baby. Let me handle Daniel." Emma gave a weak smile. "I don't think there's anything left to handle." That night, unable to sleep, Emma sat in the nursery, the baby's room filled with soft colors, tiny clothes neatly folded, a crib waiting patiently. The gentle hum of the baby mobile above her played a lullaby that almost broke her heart. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand. A message. "Unknown number. You don't know who your father is, do you?" Emma froze, her breath hitched. She typed back immediately. "Who is this?" No reply. Just another message seconds later. "Ask your mother. Oh wait, she's dead." Her pulse raced. She dropped the phone, panic rising in her chest. The number was blocked before she could trace it. She called Grace in tears. "Someone knows something about me, about my father." Grace's tone sharpened. "You think it's Vanessa?" Emma nodded, trembling. "It has to be." Grace sighed. "Okay, tomorrow we'll talk to the detective again. Maybe she can arrange a meeting. You need answers." The next morning, Detective Clara agreed to let Emma see Vanessa, under supervision, at the police station. When Emma walked into the interrogation room, she almost turned back. Vanessa sat there, bruised from the struggle, but her gaze was steady, cold, calculating. "Emma Harris," she said with a smirk, "didn't expect to see you so soon." Emma's voice was soft but firm. "Why did you attack me?" Vanessa leaned back, crossing her arms. "Because you stole my life." "I don't even know you," Emma said, confused and angry. Vanessa tilted her head, studying her face. "Don't you look closer." Emma frowned. "What are you talking about?" A bitter laugh escaped Vanessa's lips. "We have the same eyes, Emma, the same hair, same blood." Emma's stomach twisted. "What do you mean?" Vanessa leaned forward, her eyes glinting. "We're sisters." The room seemed to blur around Emma. "That's impossible." "Is it?" Vanessa hissed. "I grew up in foster homes. No name, no family, nothing except a file that said my birth mother abandoned me in 1996. Her name was Lydia Carson." Emma's heart stopped. "That's my mother's name," she whispered. Vanessa smiled cruelly. "Your adoptive mother, the one who took one baby and left the other." Emma felt like she couldn't breathe. "You're lying." "I have proof," Vanessa said, sliding a folded paper across the table. "A copy of an old adoption record. 2 infants, twin girls, separated after birth due to a medical emergency, and a lost identification tag." Emma's hands trembled as she read. No, no, this can't be real. Vanessa's voice broke, the anger fatting into pain. I grew up alone, Emma. I had nothing. And then I found out you had everything, a family, a home, love, a husband, while I was thrown away. Tears filled Emma's eyes. I didn't know. Of course you didn't, Vanessa snapped. You lived the life that was meant for me. Emma covered her face, crying silently. I didn't take anything from you. Vanessa's tone softened, almost sad. You don't even know who your real father is, do you? Emma looked up shaken. No, do you? Vanessa leaned forward, whispering, he's alive, and he's not who you think. Emma's pulse quickened. Who is he? But before Vanessa could speak, the detective interrupted, opening the door. Time up. Vanessa smiled darkly. You'll find out soon enough. Daddy, been closer than you think. As Emma was escorted out, her mind spun in chaos. Sisters, twins, a missing father. And somewhere deep inside her, a terrifying thought began to form. What if the man she married had more connection to her bloodline than she ever imagined? Emma sat in her car outside the police station long after the meeting ended. The rain had returned, light and steady, like a whisper against the windshield. Her hands trembled on the steering wheel as she replayed Vanessa's words over and over in her head. We're sisters. You don't even know who your real father is. It sounded insane, impossible, but the document Vanessa had shown her was real. She could feel it. The birth date matched, the hospital matched, and the name Lydia Carson, her adoptive mother, was right there in black ink. Her world was unraveling. Everything she had believed about her life, her family, her marriage, all of it was collapsing like a fragile house of glass. She finally started the engine and drove, though she didn't know where she was going. She couldn't face Daniel. Not yet. The truth was chasing her too fast for her to breathe. She found herself driving back to the old Carson home, her late mother's cottage on the outskirts of town. Dust coated the windows, but it still smelled faintly of lavender when she unlocked the door. She stood in the living room where her mother used to sit by the fireplace, reading. Mom, she whispered, her voice breaking, why didn't you tell me? She searched through old boxes, photo albums, papers, anything that might explain the secret Vanessa had revealed. Hours passed before she found it, a sealed yellow envelope at the bottom of an old chest. On the front, in Lydia's delicate handwriting, were the words, For Emma, only when you are ready. Her heart pounded as she opened it. Inside were faded documents, a birth certificate, hospital records, and a letter. She unfolded the letter with shaking hands. My dearest Emma, if you're reading this, it means the truth has found you. I wanted to tell you everything, but I was afraid it would destroy the peace you had. You were not born alone, my love. You had a twin sister. Her name was Vanessa. When you were both born, there were complications. I was young and frightened. Your father, your real father, had disappeared long before your birth. The hospital separated you two after Vanessa fell ill, and in the chaos of that night, I lost all records of her. Years later, when I remarried Mr. Carson, I adopted you officially, but I never stopped searching for her. I found nothing. I prayed that she was alive and loved. If Vanessa ever finds you, please forgive me. None of this was your fault. None of it was hers. As for your father, I wish I could tell you his name. I only know that he was powerful, dangerous, and had ties to things I never understood. I kept his identity hidden to protect you both. I am so sorry. Lydia. Tears blurred Emma's vision. Her whole body trembled. Oh God, she whispered. Vanessa wasn't lying. But that last part, powerful, dangerous, tied to things I never understood, gnawed at her. Who could he have been? Before she could process further, her phone buzzed again. Unknown number. You should have stayed away from her, Emma. Now it's too late. Her breath caught. She called the number back, but it went straight to voicemail. Panic surged through her veins. She grabbed her coat, rushing out into the storm. She didn't know who had sent the message, Vanessa or someone else, but she had to find answers before it was too late. Meanwhile, across town, Daniel sat in his office, staring at an old photograph that had been mailed to him anonymously. It showed a man in military uniform, standing beside a younger Lydia Carson, Emma's mother, smiling at the camera. On the back, written in rough handwriting, "He's her father, and he's yours too." Daniel's blood ran cold. "What the hell is this?" he whispered. He picked up the phone and dialed Emma immediately, but she didn't answer. When Emma arrived home later that evening, the house was dark except for a single light glowing from the living room. Daniel was sitting there, the photo in his hand. His face was pale as chalk. "Where have you been?" he demanded, his voice trembling. "I've been calling you all day." "I found a letter from my mother," Emma said quietly, her voice hollow. "I had a sister, Vanessa. She wasn't lying." Daniel stood, shaking his head. "That's not all, Emma. You need to see this." He handed her the photograph. Emma stared at it, the soldier, her mother, smiling together in a black and white frame. Her heart pounded. Who is he? Daniel's jaw clenched. "That's what I wanted to find out, so I called a friend at the records office. His name is Richard Moore." Emma froze. "Moore?" Daniel nodded slowly. "Vanessa Moore." Her breath hitched. "You mean?" "Yes," he whispered. "He's her father, and according to the records, he's yours too." The room spun. Emma staggered back, gripping the edge of the table. "No, that can't be true." Daniel's eyes filled with tears. "Emma, listen to me. That means I—" He stopped, choking on the words. Emma looked up terrified. "What?" He swallowed hard. "My birth name is Daniel Harris. It's Daniel Moore." Emma's eyes widened in horror. "My mother left him when I was 10, Daniel continued, his voice breaking. "She changed my name to protect me. I never knew he had another child. Emma, if Richard Moore is your father, then—" She stepped back, shaking her head violently. "No, no, that's not possible, you're saying." Daniel's voice cracked. "We're half-siblings." Silence fell like a bomb. Emma's knees buckled. She collapsed into a chair, tears streaming down her face. The walls seemed to close in, the air thick and suffocating. Daniel knelt beside her, his own tears falling. "I didn't know. I swear to God, Emma, I didn't know." She pushed him away, sobbing. "Get away from me, get out." "Emma, please." "Get out," she screamed, her voice raw and broken. "You lied, you destroyed everything. I'm carrying your child, our child." The horror of those words echoed through the room. Daniel stumbled back, clutching his head. "No, no, no." He ran out the door, disappearing into the storm. Days passed in silence. Emma couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. The truth was poison. The child she carried, innocent and pure, was now the cruel reminder of a twisted fate. Detective Clara called her later that week. "Emma, Vanessa's been released. We didn't have enough to hold her, but she asked me to give you something." A small package arrived that evening. Inside was a locket. 2 photos inside, one of Lydia and one of Richard Moore. The inscription read, "Family is a chain you can't break, no matter how far you run." Emma clutched it to her chest, tears falling silently. Weeks later, she gave birth to a healthy baby girl. She named her Hope. She didn't call Daniel. He had vanished, leaving only a letter that said he would never forgive himself but would always protect her from afar. As Emma rocked her daughter in her arms, she whispered, "You will grow up free of secrets, my little one. You will know the truth, I promise you that." But deep down, she knew that some truths never stopped haunting. Because sometimes, the people who destroy you are the ones tied to you by blood. And in that quiet hospital room, the same place where it all began, Emma looked at her baby and realized that love and pain were sometimes born from the same heartbeat.